change it?
No.
Can't change it, right? So it does you no good to dwell on it. Sometimes we dwell on maybe bad points, but sometimes we dwell on good points, right? How many times have you guys seen players go, they hit a great shot, they're like, give me applause, give me applause, give me applause. They're still thinking about the great shot that they hit, and then before they know it, before they come back, they realize, oh shoot, I just lost the last 3 points, I didn't even realize it, right? So you cannot change what's happened already in the past. So when you play one point, whether it's good, whether it's bad, just know, hey, come back, play again. Whatever point is in front of you, you make sure you give 100% focus.
You recently broke into top 200. You'll be a little bit further now that you've won this match. I think, I mean, obviously that's a great milestone. Do you have any goals that you set for yourself this year? And also, like long term in your career, do you have any goals?
So for this year, my goal is to be top 100. So yeah, I know it's not easy, but yeah, hopefully I can make it. And yeah, and also I want to play the next gen finals. That's my goal this year with my coach. And yeah, let's see what happens. And also my long-term goal is to obviously be a Grand Slam champion and also be #1, because Hong Kong, there's not a lot of tennis players now, but I want more people that in Hong Kong to know more about tennis, and hopefully I can inspire someone that can start playing tennis.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Those are big aims that you've got there. Yeah, and also, yeah, so you want to inspire people from Hong Kong. You are the top player from Hong Kong. You recently won. You got to the Miami Masters, right? And you were the first player from Hong Kong to play in a Masters 1000.
And made it to main draw, yeah.
And I think you're the highest ranked player from Hong Kong ever. So how do you feel about, like, sort of, you're flying the flag for Hong Kong, and do you feel, proud of this?
Yeah, I'm actually really proud of myself, because I can be representing Hong Kong, because that's where I grew up, where everything, my family, everything is in Hong Kong, and it really means a lot to me. And I really want, like, since day one that I started playing tennis, I was 5 years old, I always think that if I can be a professional tennis player, I can hopefully I can inspire some kids to play tennis. That's the really main goal for me. And hopefully, yeah. Then in last time when I was in Hong Kong for the ATP, I met some kids, and then they told me that they play tennis because of me, and it really means a lot to me. Yeah, I'm really happy that there's slowly more and more people like getting to know tennis in Hong Kong. Yes.
Yeah, I guess it's also exciting for you now that the ATP has a tournament in Hong Kong again.
The 20 years, yeah.
I was actually at that tournament this year. I was at the match. I watched your match against Lorenzo Musetti.
Yes.
It was a close match, although you lost. It must be exciting for you just to have the opportunity. You'll probably be able to play the tournament for the next few years.
Yeah, it's obviously really big for me because I started playing tennis in Victoria Park. That's where the ATP is, and I still remember which court and when I was 5 and at court 3, and then they start hitting tennis balls, and it was really special for me last time playing at home actually with all my fans, like my friends as well, my family helping me.
Also, I wanted to ask about, you've been training at the Rafa Nadal Academy. How long have you been training there? Since when did you first go there?
So since young, around 9 years old, 9 to 10 years old, I have a Hong Kong coach, and then she stopped with me when I was 16, 2021, I guess, 2021 June, and then I started in Rafa's when I was, I think, 2021 October, September, more or less. So now it's almost 3 years. So it's more like two and a half, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so 2.5 years. Okay, so
so most of your tennis growth has come in Hong Kong, and then just the last few years in the academy.
Yeah, almost 3 years. Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean, how do you feel that's prepared you for stepping into the professional level, and what is it like to train with the players there, and also especially you got to train with Rafa? Tell me a bit about that.
It's really special because you can train with Rafa. I mean, he's my idol, so I always really feel so special to play with him as well, and get to know him as a person, and he really gave me a few tips as well sometimes during training or even off court when I meet him in the gym. So yeah, in Rafa's we have a really good team, and I have a really good team as well, my coach and different help resources, and I think it's really the best for me at the moment.
Okay, great. And what about your hopes in this tournament? Do you think you can win the tournament?
Hopefully, I think I want to go step by step because this is the first tournament of the Asian Swing, and I was in Miami, and then I did a 1 week training block in Rafa's, and then I just got back to Asia. So it's where closer to home, and then in Shenzhen and Guangzhou is literally 30 minutes from Hong Kong, and yeah, I'm really excited to go back home. I haven't seen my family in a while, so yeah.
So you mean when you have you're going to play the challenge? Hello and welcome to this Tennis Asia TV live watch along for this round 3 clash at the US Open between Emma Raducanu, 2021 champion, and Kazakhstan representative Elena Rybakina. I'm now joined by Haresh, and we're going to be giving you some commentary and analysis throughout this match. So, hi Haresh, how are you doing? It's been a while since we talked. How are you doing?
All good, Eddie. How are you? It's been a while, yes, but good to be back here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Yeah, I'm doing good. And yeah, I've just seen the players, by the way, walk out onto the court. I don't know what you can see if you've got obviously you've got a stream there, right?
I'm just logging into my stream actually as we speak.
Okay, yeah. So they've walked out into the court and yeah, they haven't started warming up yet. Okay, so yeah, so basically we're going to go through the match, and I just wondered, did you actually see any of the previous matches that these two have played in this tournament?
Yeah, I did watch a little bit of Raducanu earlier in the week, her first round. I thought she was playing well. Rybakina, I saw some of the highlights, but not the full match actually.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I saw all of the Raducanu's matches because we covered them here as they were playing she's playing against Shibahara and then later against the Indonesian player Janice Chen. Right. I thought the game against Chen, we talked a little bit briefly that we thought maybe that this would have went a bit closer because obviously Chen had a good win over Kudermetova, and she was playing well, but I mean yeah, it was surprising. I thought because she like Kudermetova was that was a really good win for Chen, and then I felt like Raducanu I thought would be tested, but Raducanu, I thought it was less about Chen playing badly, but Raducanu came out, I thought, really well. I mean, she was serving so well, and Jen's quite an aggressive player, the good forehand as well. She was being quite aggressive coming to the net, but I mean, it was just she was just finding it really hard to get through Raducanu. Raducanu, she was just very sharp, defending well, and then when she had any chances, she was hitting accurately in the corners with the angles, and and it taking any chances she could get. So it was very difficult, and just I think her serving that well and that stably was surprising to me, I guess because I haven't maybe seen her looking that stable for a while. But I mean, she has been playing really well recently, and yeah, I think obviously today it's going to be a different prospect because of the power that Rybakina brings, and it's an easy power, right? So yeah, certainly much more than Raducanu's previous two opponents. But yeah, I don't know. How do you think this match might play out?
I think it's going to be very interesting because I think both players are they started regaining their form in the summer hardcourt season. They both had a good summer hardcourt season in the US. So, Rybakina had that good result in Cincinnati. Raducanu did well in Washington. She had a couple of close losses. The one to Sabalenka was really close in that third set tiebreak. So I think they're both kind of finding their form at the right time heading into the US Open. And they've had good, comfortable wins in their first two rounds. So I feel it's going to be close. I think it's going to be 3 sets in either case. And yeah, I think it's going to be a close 3-set match. And like you said, Rybakina does bring a lot more power, but she's also prone to errors because of that. I think Raducanu is going to be a little more stable. She's able to kind of play these kind of players like she did well against Sabalenka. I think she'll be able to manage the power of Rybakina and do well, actually.
Yeah, it's I mentioned obviously the serve, was a big improvement. I suppose, I mean, generally, the serve is also sometimes affected by the player on the other side of the court or the, the pressure that they might feel in that moment. So yeah, obviously it seems like she's been doing much better with that these days. But obviously when you're playing,
a player like Rybakina, where obviously she's going to have a lot of service holds. So, it creates a little bit more pressure for you to actually perform with your own serve. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if, Raducanu can handle that. I mean, obviously, they played once before this year, at the start of this year, right? I think it was in Sydney. And, yeah, obviously, that was very one-sided in favour of Rybakina. I can see, probably get the stat up there, the match up there.
WTA side has that as 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Their only encounter on the WTA side is listed as 102.
Oh yeah, sorry, it wasn't this year. It was 2022, right? Yeah, sorry. Right. Yeah, Sydney though, right? Yeah, you can see it Sydney there on the screen. Yeah, so that's it there, and yeah, I mean, obviously we're expecting something a bit different. I mean, that was not too long after actually Raducanu played and won her first US Open, right? And yeah, she was obviously quite inexperienced there, I should say. And perhaps maybe lucky in her own run, not having had to play maybe such a big player like Rybakina. Of course, Rybakina went on to win Wimbledon that year, right? I think. But obviously, way different now. I think Emma has, she had a lot of injury issues, and she's come through that and is playing much more consistently at a high level. She came into this tournament just outside the seedings, but to me, she's playing much more like a top 20 player, or something like that right now in terms of the consistency that she's bringing, or maybe even higher. But so it's going to be interesting to me. I think this will be close. Do you have any preference on who you think's actually going to win the match? Do you have a favorite there?
I actually like both of them. They're both great players, very nice to watch. Very good people on the court, very nice. But I think I like both, but I think I'm going to go with Raducanu today. I think she's going to win this one.
Okay, you're going.
What about you?
The bold pick, yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like actually when I did the draw preview, I actually uploaded the video preview of the women's draw, and I was kind of thinking about it, who's going to make the final. When I saw the draw, I thought, oh, Rybakina is going to make the final. I thought she would beat Raducanu. Perhaps it would be tight, but like she would get through. So, but on the evidence of seeing Emma in this tournament so far, and then obviously Rybakina had quite a tough match in the last round against the Valentova. She also she was down a break as well in that second set and came back. But I mean, I guess it's hard to tell because I know that Valentova is quite talented young player at 18, but I'm just seeing Rybakina serve right now, by the way.
Same.
Yeah, so I just, it's hard for me. I still think Rybakina is going to win, but I don't think this is going to be easy. So, but yeah, I'm going to maybe veer for Rybakina in 3, but we'll see. Maybe Rybakina serving. I don't know if that's going to affect the outcome, but I've just seen 15 love. Are you at the same point in the stream?
Yes, same point. I think we're at the same point, correct?
Okay, good, because it doesn't always work out like that. There's one person much further ahead, and it can be a bit irritating sometimes. So, okay. Yeah, I mean, it was a good return there from Raducanu, and eventually she comes out on top. So it's 15 all. We're roughly at the same spot, right?
I'm just maybe a few seconds behind you, just maybe 2 seconds behind you, but that's
cool.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll just hold off a little bit then, so don't spoil your experience too much. But yeah, it's I think another thing as well is that it's been all the matches. This is the third match in a row that Raducanu's played on Louis Armstrong, whereas Rybakina was on the outer courts, right, for her first 2 matches. Was it court 17 or something? So I don't know if there's much difference in conditions, but obviously it's a different stadium, so that might have a little bit of an effect as well. So Raducanu is obviously comfortable playing on this court.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good serve, and it's always a bit
It's a good
strange.
start.
Sorry, go on.
I was saying it's a good start for Rybakina. She seems to be serving, picking her spots in the serve quite well.
Mm-hmm. The return there, yeah, she can. I mean, that was a good return. And yeah, I mean, for Raducanu, I mean, we know her return has been very good for a long time now, and if anything, she's got even better. But she was so good against well, actually, Shibahara and Chen. But yeah, it's well, Rybakina does eventually close out that game, so she gets on the board, and it's always a bit strange, I think, when they have to play the first match on, because people are still sort of coming in and they're not really quite settled yet. The atmosphere doesn't got going yet, so might take a little
It does
while
look
to.
like a pretty full crowd on the side now that I'm looking at the shade. I think that's the shaded side of Armstrong. It's looking like a pretty packed crowd there.
Yeah. So yeah, because obviously, like the previous rounds, it definitely wasn't quite as busy at this stage. So yeah, people were obviously wanting to see this match. It's understandable. Two big names. Have you been to the US Open?
Actually, I have been once, long back, 2010. I was there in 2010. I was there for the first week. I watched 7 days of tennis, morning to night. Pretty much the entire reason for my trip was watching the US Open. So it was a great experience. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
What about you? Have you been?
I went once last year was the only time I went. So that was, it was excellent. And I got to see some of the final qualies round, and then like the first round, I think. Yeah, I went for 2 days.
Right.
Right. But yeah, I was just about to say, like, Louis Armstrong, I think, is my favorite stadium there, better than Ash. But maybe I didn't get the full Ash experience. But did you get to see many matches there?
Yeah, I did watch quite a few in Ash because I think I was there for the entire first week. So I watched quite a bit on Ash and Armstrong, and I'm not sure whether it's changed now, but back then in 2010, there was a particular. I mean, they were kind of side to side, so you could, right on top of Ash, you could actually go and see matches in one particular point at Armstrong as well. So that was actually one of my favorite spots because I could go watch a bit of Armstrong and then come back and watch a bit of Ash. Although it was really high up at the top level, but that was fun because then you could just switch between the matches whenever you wanted to without having to actually go out of the stadium.
That's quite good.
Yeah.
I don't think that was great. Yeah, Rybakina is doing really well here. She's been, just dominating when she gets the chance, and 3 break points. Okay, it was a good first serve there from Raducanu. And this is a big test for her now, obviously. Very early on, this improved serving could come in useful here.
We saw Francesca Roy, her new coach, in the stands a little time back. What are your thoughts about the new coaching partnership with Raducanu?
Well, I mean, how long has it been now that they've been together? It's
I think a few weeks. I think it was post Wimbledon, right?
Right. Yeah. So she's obviously had some good moments, right? I mean, especially, that last match against Sabalenka was her best match by far, I think, against her, and it was if she actually won a few more points, I think. Obviously, she's had a few matches against her now, but looking at this so far, maybe this is the one that's actually going to stick. Maybe it's going to work for her because she's been really impressive in the last few weeks. As I said, but she's under pressure here, using that slice. Oh, Oh, but that was, yeah, she was getting pushed around the court there, and Rybakina does actually take the break. So it's a break early on for Rybakina, and it's just, well, it's that difference, isn't it? The difference in the level of power and her ability to push around her opponent on the court. And yeah, unlike the previous two opponents for Raducanu, is a step up. So yeah, because obviously Raducanu has been through quite a number of coaches. I mean, that's been her thing, and it's not really stuck. But yeah, she does seem fairly relaxed at the moment. But maybe if this doesn't go too well, she might start be thinking differently about it. But no, we'll wait and see. But yeah, it's early on in this match, and that's just.
I think the other interesting thing also for me with Raducanu was I think last year, I remember at this point through the year, she had a few matches where she wasn't able to complete the matches, or she was kind of getting hurt in quite a few matches and couldn't kind of do the best in the third sets of matches when they went really long. But this year, I think she's a lot more physically fitter and better conditioning. We've really not seen that issue this year, I feel, on the tour with her. So maybe
Right.
just getting stronger overall, physically much better, stable after her surgeries as well. So I'm sure that kind of adds to her confidence and kind of her rhythm as well through the matches that she's playing.
Yeah. So I'll just get the scoreboard up for the viewers at home. Yeah, so 30-15 there, and it's going to be a second serve for Rybakina. And yeah, of course, that return is going to be so important for Raducanu. I think. Yes, certainly any second serve, she's going to want to make sure to take full advantage here. Overall, in this tournament, did you make any predictions about who you think is going to win on the women's side?
I didn't actually go through and do a draw analysis, but I think just based on form and how everybody's been playing and how I think it'll go, I think I'll pick Sabalenka to win the tournament.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, she's in the same half as these two, right?
Yeah, she plays today, correct.
Yeah, and she'll be playing, but they would meet, what, in the semis, is it? Or the, I think, yeah.
I think Rybakina, I'm not sure. Maybe quarters. I think we have Goff and Osaka probably in the fourth round there. Yeah, that's on the other half. So yeah, Pegula is in this section as well.
Okay, we've just got a Rybakina. She just held, and yeah, that's a 3-love lead. Just going to take a little break just for a moment while I
Sure.
do something. So just give me a second. We'll just put this up. I mean, to be fair to Boo, he was more than matching Rublev in the rallies, and of course, we all know the power, and how good he is. Rublev is from the back of the court, and incredible baseliner. He's just one of the best. And he's that's why he's been top 5 in the world. And so, but for Boo to do that and come through that, I mean, it was quite remarkable. I mean, obviously we talked about him a lot in this podcast and said, well, he seems to be getting very good over the summer. I mean, even those of us who watch tennis closely did not quite expect him to pull this off. But I mean, it was very obviously we know how good his tennis in terms of like it can be in the rallies, but then just mentally that he was able to stay composed and stay strong and be aggressive, and It's I watched Boo last year. In this, that was his sort of a bit of a breakthrough for him because he played the Seoul Challenger.
It was here, yeah.
In spring last year, and he went on to win the title against Vukic in the final. I mean, I saw him actually there's a video I shared just after Boo's run on Twitter. We're back there. Yeah, just trying to fix some of my connection issues there. I was having a little issue, so hopefully that is better now. Okay, so so Raducanu and Rybakina are at 15-all in this fourth game of the first set. It's been a good start for Rybakina early on, and it's just been difficult for Raducanu to get on top and be able to play the way she wants to play at the moment. I don't think she's served quite as well as she would have liked as well so far. But yeah, she'll be definitely wanting to get on the board here.
I think it would be really nice if Raducanu can keep it close and just keep it limited to one break, because then at some point probably she'll get a few openings here and there, put some pressure on Rybakina, and then, who knows.
Yeah, and that will do it. So she takes a 40-15 lead and has 2 game points. I think Raducanu is probably a player that should be, I would say like seeded at this point, but probably I would imagine if she keeps, uninjured, and she does hold, by the way, and she does a little bit of a cheer there. Seems to get a bit of a backing from the crowd. So, yeah, I think she's a player that probably should be seeded right at a slam, and obviously if you get seeded, it's going to give you a bit more luck in the draws and so on. When you have that higher ranking, I think she's been a bit unlucky in terms of sort of, obviously met Sabalenka a lot recently, like fairly early on, and then like some big names. So, but yeah, that's just the way things go is when she get your ranking up. But I would imagine that if she keeps playing, that she probably will be much higher ranked by the end of the year, and then probably Australian Open, which is, I think, conditions will suit her quite well. We'll see how she might do there, but obviously she can still come back and win this match, but it's not going to be easy. Hasn't been easy so far. Rybakina at 15 love, 3-1.
I think, in fact, Raducanu, if I remember correctly, was the highest unseeded player in the women's draw when the draw was made, and just missed out on a seeding. And I think a few more good results, and once she's in the top 30, hopefully, then she'll avoid these kind of dangerous players in the first couple of rounds, and I think that'll just help her to kind of get more solidified, and kind of once you're the seeding, I think that'll definitely help her confidence as well.
I think as well, like last year, she did play the Career Open here in Seoul, and she had to retire in the quarterfinals. So, right. And she didn't play any of I'm not sure if she played any Asian tournaments after that, maybe one. But so she has a lot of points that she can make up. So yeah, that might be a key moment for her, or a key period for her, if she can stay fit and actually get some points there, because sort of quicker hard courts generally, and that will suit her game. And it's gonna be a second serve here for Rybakina. Rybakina also is
record, and I think she's just played Korea between the US Open and Australian Open. She just played Korea and then the BJK Cup finals, so she does have kind of increase her ranking points.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's just an example, like the point there. I mean, it's hard for sort of, like in the last match against Chen, she was defending and really sharp, because, Chen's got a good forehand herself, but it's not quite at the level of Rybakina's, right? So it's just sometimes it's a little bit harder for Raducanu to sort of play the game that she wants to play. She, that kind of, she's quite a good counter puncher, right? And sort of defends well aggressively, but yeah, it's difficult.
Eddie, I'm going to have to drop off right now. I'm going to try and see if I can come back in a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully.
No problem.
You have a good one, and I'll catch you in a bit, hopefully.
Okay, great. Thanks, Haresh, and hopefully see you later. Thanks for joining anyway. So, yeah, we've got this here. There's a mosquito bothering me here, so it's quite irritating. So we've got, obviously, Rybakina up 1 break, 4-1. It's just really been difficult for Raducanu to get back into this. I mean, Rybakina has been sharp and sort of continuing that form on from Cincinnati, where she looked very good. And I think it's going to be difficult for I don't think she started off serving particularly well. Well, I should say as well as she would have liked. But Rybakina obviously had a really good hard court season coming into this tournament, and it's just, it's a bit unfortunate because obviously from Raducanu's point of view, she has looked very good coming into this, but probably she's going to, at this stage, it's, a matchup like this is a bit difficult for her. But there's still a chance that she is going to come back here. But she has got love 15, and it's going to be another second serve. She really wants to be finding more of those first serves if she's going to be able to get back into this. But I mean, 58% at the moment, though, that's not too bad. Over 60. But there, again, it's Rybakina just quickly able to get on top in the rally and dominate there. So it's very difficult for Raducanu, and now she's facing love 30, and you'd have to say, obviously, she loses this game, you really just expect Rybakina to serve out the set and take it. So really important. And that was a good serve there, though, down the middle, into the body. Quick and into the body. She gets a point on the board. 15-30. Yeah, of course. Doing this stream on TennisAsiaTV, Rybakina represents Kazakhstan. Oh, and that was a good return there from Rybakina. And Raducanu unable to control the ball, sends it long. And you have to say it's been quite a clinical performance from Rybakina so far. Raducanu just struggling. I mean, she could do with, another serve there. Going out, the first serve going out, she could really do with an easy point at this moment in time. That was a decent second serve, and the return just goes long. Oh no, it hit the baseline. I'm wrong. So that means it's game Rybakina. That was a good return, very deep into the court, and Elena Rybakina takes a 5-1 lead. So a lot of people expecting Raducanu to come in and do better here, but at the moment it's been domination from the player from representing Kazakhstan. And yeah, to be honest, she hasn't really been tested so far. That was a decent return there on second serve from Raducanu. She does get into the points, so that is an error on the backhand side there from Rybakina, and it is love 15. Yes, I mean, it's a bit easier to serve well as well when you're maybe a bit more relaxed. I mean, obviously, Raducanu in the first two matches, she beat Shibahara and Janice Chen. Chen, the more competent of the two, but like still a level below Rybakina in general ability, but also just the power that she brings here. And then that's just another example there. Rybakina winning that point to take it to 15 all. Just the ability to hit such powerful balls and really rush Raducanu. She just can't really get into points and play that kind of sort of counter-punching style that allows her to take control like she did in the last matches. And it's going to be a let, so it's a second serve. Another second serve for Rybakina. Raducanu still obviously trying to get back here, but it does feel like this set will be gone. That was a decent return, but yeah, I mean, Rybakina just able to slap the forehand, even though it went decently turn in terms of Raducanu got a racket on it and it went deep, but Rybakina just slaps that forehand, and it's an easy winner, and 30-15. It will be a second serve. I mean, I think Raducanu, just for her own mental side, I mean, she'd probably like to get a break back here, even if it doesn't get her the set, if it doesn't lead to the set. But 30 all there, that was a decent point there, and then with the return, and then Rybakina eventually hitting the ball long. Obviously, Rybakina just trying to go for the winner there, but another great serve down the middle there from Rybakina to take it to 40-30. And really, she's just strolling onwards towards this first set. Only 25 minutes gone so far. Yeah, 25 minutes on the clock. And yeah, 40-30 here. So this is set point, I should say. But that is a second serve into the net, double fault, and it goes to deuce. So Rybakina at deuce against Raducanu. Now perhaps Raducanu, could she get her first break here, just as Rybakina is serving for this first set? She does return there. But the return is just not good enough for Rybakina to be able to get the ball. The return is just not good enough to put Rybakina off. And just so difficult for Raducanu. Obviously doesn't have the quite have the power and weight behind her. It's much more difficult against a player like Rybakina, and Rybakina does take that first set. Great serve there, and it is 6-1 to Rybakina in that first set. And you have to say, not looking good for Emma Raducanu. The player from Kazakhstan taking the first set really without any issues and without any without really being tested at all. I see Raducanu adjusting her shoes there again. She did that a few times in the last match against Chen. She was adjusting her sock, but I mean, that's not really the issue here today. I mean, you can see the stats here. 11 winners for Rybakina, just the one for Emma Raducanu. Rybakina's created 4 break points and won 2 of them. Raducanu's created none. First serve percentage won 63% Raducanu, 82% for Rybakina. And it's really Raducanu's going to have to think, how on earth is she going to be able to get back into this? She might need a little bit of a tip from Rybakina, but you know, she's going to have to, I think she's going to have to serve better than she has done. I mean, I think especially in some of the tight moments, she's not been finding those first serves, and she could really do with getting some of those first serves in play, and obviously, you know, being able to, you know, just put that pressure a little bit more back on Rybakina. She's got to try and hold better than she has done. Yeah, I mean, you can see some of the stats here. I mean, it's overall 26 points to Rybakina to 15 for Raducanu, feeling more or less like a fair reflection of the match so far in terms of the domination of Rybakina. But this time, unlike the previous set, Raducanu will serve first. That can, you know, sort of change the momentum a little bit if she's able to, you know, get on the board first and then perhaps break. And that was a good start. That was a good first serve out wide, unreturned from Rybakina. So first point of this second set to Raducanu. And that's what she's going to have to do. I think she's going to have to try and take care of her own service games like that. And that was it. Another good first serve down the middle. An ace this time. And that was her first ace of the match. This serve goes out though, and it will be a second serve. Raducanu at 30 love. Decent second serve down the middle. And yes, eventually finished off easily cross court with that forehand from Raducanu, just placing it nicely. Wrong footing Rybakina. She was in control there and executed well. It's 40 love, and she has 3 games points. She's already has a chance to match her game total from the previous set. So another second serve here. Oh, as she stops the ball tossing, and she's going to retake the serve here, Raducanu. Sun in her eye on this side. It was a decent serve though. Oh, but eventually her backhand goes into the net, and it's 40-15. So yeah, it feels really crucial here, I think, Raducanu to get on the board here when she's got this chance. That was a good serve, and she is in control in the rally. Oh, but she eventually sends that forehand out, and yeah, it's 40-30 now. And yeah, from Raducanu's point of view, you really feel that she's going to have to try and take this now. Because, you know, things can run away from you quickly against a player like Rybakina, the form that she's in. That's going to be a second serve again, and she could have really done the first serve again. And yeah, it was returned decently by Rybakina, and then it brings the backhand error from Raducanu. So from 40 love to juice, it's not looking good for Raducanu. She just hasn't been able to hold easily. Can she serve here? And that's going to be another second serve. That's exactly what I was saying. Like in these tight moments, they just haven't been coming with the first serves. But there, it is a second serve in, but it's returned very hard from Rybakina, and it brings the error from Raducanu. So advantage Rybakina from Raducanu being 40 love up. And this is really not the start that Raducanu would have wanted. She's Rybakina doing exactly what she should be doing. Well, that is a good serve again. Down the tee, another ace from Emma Raducanu. And that's what I'm talking about. If you're going to, you got to try and come up with these in some of the tight moments. And that's the kind of play that can win you matches or keep you going. She gets another first serve in, but that was down the middle, and Rybakina was waiting, and she redirects that forehand up the line for a winner. It's advantage Rybakina once again. Just beautiful connection there from Rybakina. Just really sharp. And yeah, it's going to be a second serve again. Crucial moments here. And yeah, return there from Rybakina, and Raducanu's backhand goes into the net. And it's just not really been competitive so far. I mean, and Raducanu's body language not looking particularly good. The stadium's pretty quiet. But the credit does as well have to go to Rybakina. I mean, Rybakina has been playing really well, just composed and doing exactly what she needs to do when she's been getting the chances. But Raducanu probably should be playing better. I think when she's playing a player like this. Yeah, she's not really showing that assuredness that we've seen so far in this tournament. Oh, as Rybakina was doing well in that rally, and then eventually going for that drop shot on the backhand side, which drifts into the tram lines out. So it starts off with a point to Raducanu, love 15, and yeah, I mean, it's maybe going to take a few loose plays for Raducanu to sort of get back into this and maybe change the momentum. But then it's really so difficult because then Rybakina just smashes down an ace like that out wide. Really good play there. Really good serve. Yeah, first ace as well for her. And that was an unreturned serve. Good solid serve there again. So this is what it means. This is how difficult it is. I mean, like, you've got to, as I said with Raducanu, she's got to be able to try and somehow do more of it on her service games, because it's always going to be hard when you're playing Rybakina. Of course, Raducanu does have a good return, but you know, there's always so much you can do. only so much you can do. Yeah, another good serve there. Raducanu does get it back, but you know it's floating deep, but it's in the middle, and Rybakina is just there to smash the forehand away for a clear winner. And another great serve down the tee, unreturned from Raducanu. It is game Rybakina, 2 games to love. Of course, Raducanu to come out and serve again. And it's looking like this is going to be a short one, but you have to say, looking good for Rybakina's prospects in this tournament. I actually picked Rybakina to make the final, and perhaps you'll need to get past Sabalenka to do that. But on this evidence so far, yeah, it's looking good. And she might just be building up some momentum towards the US Open final. Oh, that was a good rally there, though, from Raducanu's point of view. And eventually she comes out on top. And that's not something we've seen too much in those, you know, baseline rallies. It's been Rybakina who's been getting on top and dominating and finishing off the points, you know, reasonably quickly. And another serve for Raducanu, but it's quite far wide. It'll be a second serve. Oh, yeah. So Rybakina had the chance shot there again from the middle of the court, which he's done so well, you know, from there. But she does send that forehand long. So it's 30 love for Raducanu. If you are watching, leave a comment in the chat. If you are watching on YouTube, you can like and subscribe. How do you think this match has gone? What's gone wrong for Raducanu? Do you think she could do much more here? Oh, and that's a good forehand there. Going back in behind Rybakina. A nice forehand cross court. Inside out. Yeah, that was an excellent forehand from Rybakina. From Raducanu. And she does have 40 love again. She did have 40 love in her last service game, though, and eventually got broken. So let's see if she can close it out this time. She does hit a good first serve out wide, but it is returned by Rybakina. But the backhand is hit cross court, and that is Raducanu who takes this game. So it is 2-1 to Rybakina early in this second set. Rybakina, though, with the break. That there was footage of Emma Raducanu competing here in Seoul at the Korea Open. Last year, she reached the quarterfinals where she had to retire. I think it was against Daria Kazakhstan. And, actually, she reached the semi-finals of the same tournament back in 2022 and also had to retire eventually against Ostapenko in that semi-final. And, I think she was ahead a set as well. And yeah, so she's had these injury problems in the past, and this year it's been going much better for her. So, yeah, unfortunate for Raducanu, though, to be down here. But she has probably an opportunity, given that she was out at she missed the Asian swing last year. She has the opportunity to build up a lot of points and perhaps get a seeding and higher up the rankings and maybe avoid some of the bigger players like Rybakina earlier on. So here's Rybakina coming out for the second, sorry, I should say her second service game. And the return goes out, so it's 15 love to Rybakina. Comments in the chat if you have any thoughts, if you have any questions, if you have any comments on the performances of these players today. If you are not a subscriber, please hit subscribe. We will be doing more live streams, probably live watch-alongs, hopefully hoping to do one for Coleman Wong against Andrei Rublev, which will be tomorrow. Don't know the time of that one yet. Coleman Wong, of course, though, the player from Hong Kong who has qualified to make a main draw of a major. First time for a man in the Open era. And then he's through to the third round after beating Adam Walton yesterday in 4 sets. He seems to be doing really well. And Andrei Rublev, though, the Russian player, is back on the up, I think. He's had his struggles, but looking a bit better these days, and it's going to be a tough one. But certainly nice experience for Coleman. Maybe a second serve here, but it's Rybakina leading 40 love again. Breezing through her service game once again. Let's see if she can close this out here. Yeah, the return goes into the net from Raducanu. So 3-1 Rybakina. And it's a pretty full stadium there at the Louis Armstrong Stadium in New York in Flushing Meadows. Just still a few people coming in. Of course, this is the first match of the day on this stadium. And Raducanu serving again from the side, which she doesn't seem too comfortable on because the sun's in her eyes. But then she does eventually serve its return, but she hits, it's a really nice 1-2 punch and really nice forehand winner finishing off there. And yeah, she's going to have to keep that up if she's got any hope of coming back here. Try and, do well in her own service games and see if she can somehow get a break, even though Rybakina has been breezing through her service games. On Arthur Ashe, Alcaraz has started and he's already up a break early on. He's about to go 3 love up. And this is just really difficult for Raducanu. Down the middle. It is returned, but then quickly Rybakina is able to get on top in the rally. Yeah, that was a big forehand that she, has been so effective for her. And this time Raducanu was a bit sharper to it. Does get the ball back, and then Rybakina does make the error. And it's as difficult as it's going to be. She's going to have to be able to find that somehow defend a little better, move a little bit sharper, read the plays a little bit better. She was doing that so well, Raducanu, against Janice Chen, but of course it's a far different quality of player that she's facing now. But it's like, if you're going to do anything, she's got to take any chances. Yeah, so she gets in the rally there, and yeah, another error there from Rybakina, the forehand just going long. So perhaps a chance there for Raducanu to get 2 games on the board, which is obviously double what she got in the previous set. Yeah, first serve is in. Oh, but returned, and then Raducanu's backhand goes well wide. So difficult moments here for Emma Raducanu. 40-30 she leads, but 1 game point. But she struggled in her service games. That was a good serve. She decides to go back in behind Rybakina this time. Wrong foots her and gets the winner. She does get the game. It's now 3-2 Rybakina in this second set with Rybakina 1 break. Yeah, it's so difficult. But she's got to keep doing that, Raducanu. Let's see if she gets a few good returns and maybe hopes that Rybakina, loses a little bit of focus in her own service games, because at this point she's been so good so far, Rybakina. Just such easy power, and it's not, Raducanu, I think she struggles sometimes against these sort of bigger hitters because, she likes to be able to get into the rallies a little bit and sort of use her speed and her sort of reading of the game to defend well and sort of counterpunch and, sort of be aggressive when she can, but she doesn't have the most natural power herself. So it's not as easy for her to sort of immediately get on top of a rally. And so sometimes she gets exposed against a player like Rybakina. And Rybakina is just obviously in a good space as well at the moment. She's doing well. Just at a good hard court season, getting to, semi-finals. So she is in a good spot. And that's why I picked her to be able to make the US Open final. Probably going to come up against Iga Świątek, who's in the other half. And I would imagine, Iga coming out on top there. But you never know. This is just the third round. It's still a long way to go. We just don't know what's going to happen. Rybakina with a second serve now. But yeah, Raducanu is got to be disappointed with that. She hits that into the net. She was waiting, with anticipation there, and she's got to make a few more of those count if she's going to have any chance. And perhaps there isn't really much of a chance for Raducanu here. Another second serve it will be for Rybakina. Yeah. She does return okay, but is it not? I don't think it's going to be enough. We'll see as we get into an extended rally. No, it is an error there from Raducanu. And you can hear the crowd as well, sort of willing Raducanu to get back into this. Quite a lot of cheers there when Raducanu won that point, 15-all. So yeah, I mean, Raducanu just get the ball back, but it's still easy to finish off for Rybakina, who comes towards the net and does hit the winner. And it is 30-15. Yeah, that was a serve that was returned quite high and loopy deep, but it's enough to bring the error from Rybakina. So it's 30-all. 30-all, but as we see, Raducanu has not created a single break point yet, but perhaps this is the opportunity for her to do so. But no, then Rybakina smashes down an ace down the tee. And yeah, it's nice to have that in your locker. If you're Rybakina, right? You've got that weapon. But it's going to be a second serve. This time, I notice Raducanu still staying quite far back for this second serve at 40-30. And it was justified, but it's, well, still not enough on the return. Too short, too little pace on it. And Rybakina steps in and finishes it off. It is 4-2. And Rybakina just 2 games away from winning this match. Yeah, and Rybakina hasn't really put a foot wrong, let's be honest. I mean, we have to give her some credit. You know, for Raducanu, she was going to have to do maybe a bit more with her own play and her own game plan. Oh yeah, that's just good play. Just relentless from Rybakina. Big and deep, and eventually bringing the error from Raducanu, who sends that forehand long. It's just she just can't adjust, and this feels like it could be all over if Raducanu loses this game. Very crucial now. It's love 15. Let's see if she can get a first serve in. She does get it in, but it's returned pretty comfortably by Rybakina. We are in the rally, forehand to forehand. That was a backhand. Now it slices from Raducanu, but the slice works out because Rybakina tries to go up the line with that backhand, but it's way off. And perhaps, you know, maybe Raducanu should be doing that a bit more, you know, giving her a change of pace and try and mix something up. I mean, Rybakina tends to like to do things quickly with a quick rhythm. If you ruin that, maybe that can put her off. And certainly that's not something we've seen at all, really, in this match so far from Raducanu. Yeah, and Raducanu, you know, trying to get into that rally there, eventually sending that forehand long, and this just feels like a really crucial moment here. And this is pretty much it, I would say, the match if Raducanu does not take this game. 14 unforced errors in this match so far. 6, just 6 for Rybakina. Serve is in, but it's not the best serve. It's just sort of you know, a bit short in the box in the middle, and it is returned, and the Raducanu backhand goes into the net. So it's another break point here for Rybakina. 2 break points she has. Oh, but that's a nice serve down the tee for Raducanu, but it is returned. And it just doesn't really look like Raducanu knows what to do here, but Rybakina does send that backhand cross-court wide into the tram line, so she does give Raducanu a bit of a chance here. It's 30-40. Can she save another break point here, Raducanu? I feel like this is pretty much it here, the match, if she doesn't take this point. That's a good first serve, and it is returned, but into the net by Rybakina, and it is deuce. So Emma Raducanu is hanging on here. You know, the 2021 US Open champion, winning as a qualifier, just hanging on here. But getting dominated really by the 2022 Wimbledon champion. Oh, and that's Raducanu hanging in there, and it was the backhand error again from Rybakina, so it is advantage Raducanu, and she's come back from 15-40 here. So, you know, that's you have to give credit to her for actually staying composed there. Things aren't looking good, but is she actually going to hold on? Well, it was a decent first serve, but it was returned with interest by Rybakina, and eventually the Raducanu backhand bringing the error with that long ball. So it is deuce again. Raducanu going down the middle. It's really hard for Raducanu to try and stay in the rallies here, but she's managing it. But eventually, it is finished off easily with the winner into the space by Rybakina on the backhand side. And yeah, I mean, Rybakina has just been pretty relentless, to be honest. I mean, just so many points. Raducanu's looks second best. I mean, it's difficult when you have to face an opponent like Rybakina, who's got so much easy power from the back of the court and just can really rush you. Oh, but that's the first serve out. So second serve here from Raducanu. It is in. Some tentative forehand there from, Raducanu. And then eventually another forehand that cross court that goes wide. So that is game Rybakina, and it is 5-2 Rybakina. She's one game away from taking this match. It's 6-1, 5-2. And I think Raducanu, she won the last two matches by a scoreline of 6-1, 6-2, and then 6-2, 6-1. It looks like she's about to go down 6-1, 6-2 here. Unless, of course, Raducanu gets a break here, but she hasn't had one break in the match so far, so hasn't even created a break point. I mean, it just hasn't really got going for her. Rybakina has been on top. She has been dominant, and she hasn't put a foot wrong, to her credit. I mean, she's just been playing with ease of execution. She's been playing without many errors. And they've started to, slip into her game as the match has gone on, but it's really been nothing of note. And it's perhaps Rybakina one step closer to the final here. If she wins this, she'll move through to the last 16. I did predict that she would make the final, Rybakina, and on this form, I'm not going to change my mind from what I've seen here. Yes, a good serve, and then comes in to finish off easily. It is 15-love, 5-2 to Rybakina. Yes, again, just big serve that's just hard to get anything back with interest from Raducanu, and easily finished off by Rybakina. Pretty much a story of the match, to be honest. Of course, these two, Rybakina represents Kazakhstan and Raducanu, Great Britain. They will both compete soon at the Billie Jean King Cup finals after this tournament. That will be held in the same week as the WTA Korea Open in Seoul. So Billie Jean King Cup finals, which will be, a knockout tournament. I think that's the last 8, so a chance, obviously, both of those nations to be able to win the trophy. But Kazakhstan will be very glad to have a player like Rybakina on their side. And that was another ace there to take it to 40-15. 2 match points here for Elena Rybakina. First serve goes out. Second serve is returned long by Raducanu. And that was just clinical, really, from Rybakina. She wins 6-1, 6-2. Raducanu obviously looks greatly disappointed. She just never really got going. And you have to say, huge credit to Rybakina for just showing why she is a contender at this tournament to take the title. And she's following on, really, from the incredible North American hardcourt swing that she's had. Yeah, I mean, that's just it, really. She was so good today. And yeah, the player representing Kazakhstan makes it through to the last 16. Of course, she played Cincinnati Masters, Rybakina, and got to the semi-finals, and before that in Montreal, she got to the semi-finals there. So there's no doubt she's in a consistent spot. She also got to the semi-finals in Washington, and she's been losing out in tight matches as well. I mean, except less tight one against Świątek in Cincinnati, but of course, Świątek probably one of the favorites as well to go on and win the US Open. Yeah, the on-court interviewer saying they're a quiet girl with a very loud game, and certainly that is it's true. Yeah, just a really accomplished performance from Elena, and she will go through, as I said, to the last 16. Really good opportunity for her to go on and eventually meet probably Sabalenka, and so that's obviously going to be a real test for her if and when it does come. You can get the draw up for you. If I'm trying to get that up for you, the women's singles draw, you should be able to see that on the screen there. And so we've got Rybakina going through to the last 16, where she will face Vondrousova or Paolini. Yeah, so there you go. Vondrousova or Paolini. In the first section, Sabalenka, she will take on Leylah Fernandez later. I would imagine she's going to get through that one. And yeah, so that match, a quarterfinal meeting between Rybakina and Sabalenka looking likely. Of course, Vondrousova and Paolini will have a thing to say about that, but we'll see how that goes. Other players in that half, Pegula obviously there, Silahan and Ann Lee. That's an interesting one there. They were having an incredible tournament. Navarro and Mira Andreeva. Okay, Mira Andreeva as well, perhaps going through quietly. I think she had some issues during this swing with injuries, but yeah, perhaps she's a bit of a dark horse, quietly going towards the trophy. Yeah, on the other side, tomorrow, obviously we're going to have on the Asian Tennis Asia interest, we've got Naomi Osaka, who takes on Daria Kasatkina. Osaka's looked in very good form so far, and perhaps one of the few players that can trouble some of the bigger names like Goff, and although Goff has had her struggles, and of course the favorite Iga Świątek. So yeah, still some interest here from a Tennis Asia perspective to go. Obviously, Rybakina representing Kazakhstan, and then Osaka of Japan. So yeah, thanks for joining us on this short stream. It was going much shorter than we perhaps would have liked. I think a lot of us were expecting that this would have been a more competitive match, but unfortunately it hasn't been that way, and that's perhaps a lot of that has to go credit to Rybakina, and we're going to be interesting to see how she does in this tournament, and perhaps we'll be bringing you more live streams of her matches going forward. Thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe if you haven't done already, and I'll see you soon.